Thanks for staying with us. It's time now to look at the little fracas in the Lagos State Assembly. APC leaders, including former governors Bisi Akande, Segun Oshoba, and Akiumi Ambode, are working to resolve the Lagos Assembly speakership crisis. Directed by President Bola Tinubu, they are urging both impeached Speaker Mudashiru Obasa and current Speaker Mojisola Meranda to step down for a new candidate from Lagos West. The crisis began on January 13, 2025, when Obasa was removed by 36 lawmakers over allegations of poor leadership and mismanagement. While he rejected his removal and filed a lawsuit, party leaders are pushing for a political solution, with Obasa expected to withdraw his case. Chief Whip David Setonji is reportedly a top contender for the position. The Governance Advisory Council, GAC, and APC leaders have met with lawmakers to finalize a resolution. GAC Chairman Chief Tajuddin Olusi confirmed that mediation is ongoing, with a final decision expected within a week. Our guest this morning is Abdulmumin Edidi, former member, Nigerian Youth Parliament, youth leader, and public affairs analyst. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning. I'm happy to be here.
I understand that not too long ago, in fact, last weekend or so, you had some kind of youth gathering, and then you spoke about this issue. Let's just get some points from that event before we continue to discuss what is happening right now. So let's watch.
The coalition of young people, youths across Lagos State, we are declaring our total support, unequivocal support for the leadership of Right Honorable Mojisola Lasbat Meranda as the Speaker of the 10th Assembly at the Lagos State House of Assembly. We want to appeal to our leaders, most especially President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to douse the tension, to help us stop the intimidation against the first female Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly. She's highly qualified. As a former Chairman House Committee on Women Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, formerly Chief Whip of the House of Assembly, Deputy Speaker who has presided over important sittings, she has all the qualification. And we are appealing to Governor Babajide Olusola to help us calm the situation and say no to the intimidation of Meranda. And we are declaring our total support for her. And we urge all young people in Lagos State. In the coming days, we are going to be staging a solidarity walk, a peaceful walk, in support of Right Honorable Mojisola Meranda. We do not want any chaos in Lagos. We want the leaders of the party to support the decision of the members of the House of Assembly, majority, two-thirds majority, who have decided to elect Mojisola Meranda as the Speaker of the Assembly.
Mine is going to be an appeal, and also to appeal to the leadership of Lagos State. Please let her speak. Let Right Honorable Mojisola Meranda Lasbat speak. Leave her to do the job that the 32 members have elected her to do. It was a lawful process which was constituted and conducted peacefully and lawfully. So please let it stand. We are saying no to intimidation. We're saying let the woman rule, let her speak.
Okay, that was from the get-together, more or less, of youths that aired their views about what is happening in the Lagos State Assembly. But as we speak now, it seems as if the matter is beyond intimidation, beyond removal of a first female speaker, beyond so many other things. And what is on the table now is the need for peace. What do you make of that?
Okay, so Lagos is a state that has leaders, not just anyhow leaders, very, very strong leaders, well-experienced leaders. The independence of Nigeria was granted here in the city of Lagos. And so Lagos has always been politically active. And as you know, presently, the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is a former governor of Lagos State and has maintained as the leader of the political leader of the state. So when issues like this happen, the concern of we, the youth, at the first instance was the silence from all the leaders. We've been hearing different people saying different things, but the central leaders, I mean, those whose decisions stands, had been silent. And so we were worried to say, what's going on? Are they going to allow the matter prolong? So we had to call their attention to say, please, you need to come in to resolve this matter. So we know that the rest of the country looks up to Lagos in terms of development, in terms of initiatives, in terms of leadership. We've enjoyed large-scale political stability in Lagos, and that's why progress is consistent in Lagos. So we do not want this crisis to deter the progress we've already made in Lagos, because sometimes if things are not managed carefully, before you know it, some people take political advantage of this matter, and next thing, everywhere is in chaos. And so we do not want that. And that's our own point, majorly.
Okay, but your point was that the leaders were silent. Before Mojisola could confidently sit on that position, we heard that she was endorsed by the GAC, which is supposed to be like the highest decision-making body of Lagos State, the Governance Advisory Council. And she was also endorsed by at least 32 members of the Lagos State House of Assembly. And it still didn't work. And it had to take the president to come and talk about this thing, or send people to come to Lagos. It begs the question how strong the political class, the political leaders that you're talking about in Lagos State are, and their ability to resolve issues. It gives me worry.
Okay, so you know, the president right now is the president of the whole nation. And more importantly, the apex leader in Lagos when it comes to political matters. And so when the GAC you're talking about appears to be on two sides on this matter, from what we've seen. And so when matters like that come up, they look up to the apex leader to get it resolved. Yes, the speaker, after the House of Assembly came together and elected her as the speaker, they went on to seek the blessings of the GAC. They met with the governor. And so everybody thought, oh, this is going to go smoothly, until the embattled speaker came back and then granted a press conference, and then started raising dust all over again. But that's not to say that the leaders cannot resolve the matter. It just calls for sensitivity on the issue. But we are appealing to our leaders to not let us lose the gains of the gains of this matter. Electing the first female speaker of the legislature in Lagos State, I think for women is a big deal. We've seen a lot of them. They are joyous. I think there are just 3 women in the House of Assembly. And so if men can come together and say, oh, they are electing a woman, it speaks to how unbiased the men are. For instance, as a former member of the Nigerian Youth Parliament, we also elected a female speaker. And so it's easy for someone like me. She is my colleague from Lagos. She was recently appointed as Senior Special Assistant to the Minister of Youth Development. So it tells you that when you give the women a chance, they can also do things differently and better. Speaking to the person of Right Honorable Mojisola Meranda, for us as young people, we find it very easy. She's a very sellable candidate. She's somebody that you can easily promote. Why? Because she started as a young person. I think she's going to be 45 this year. And she's been in the assembly. This is her 3rd term. She's been chairman House Committee on Women Affairs. She's been chief whip. She's been deputy speaker. And we watched her preside over important sittings. Not only that, there were issues pertaining to young people in Lagos. We had meetings with her, and she requested for bills to be drafted, which they could present on the floor of the House, right, to address issues affecting young people. So when someone like that is unanimously endorsed, because if you look at, it's not just about 32 members that were present. It was, the 32 were all the people present at that point in time. So it was a unanimous decision. It wasn't even about the numbers. I'm sure that if there were maybe 39 members present at that point in time, all of them will have unanimously endorsed.
The question of Mojisola being qualified is not in contention, because she's been in the assembly. Every member of the assembly is assumed to be qualified enough. But now, to be fair, Obasa is not raising dust that he must not be removed. He's raising dust that he was not removed properly. So when we're putting that side by side, well, Mojisola has been nominated first female speaker, a qualified person, a right honorable. She's not just going as a greenhorn and all that. Yeah, but what do we say about the process of removing Obasa? If he has valid points, then it will mean it's a little bit of indictment on the Lagos Assembly that they didn't know what to do, because at this point we wouldn't have been here.
I think the process of removal or election of presiding officers of the legislature is very clear. For me, as a young parliamentarian myself, I do not see anything wrong in the process. Let's start from how does the parliament come together? When INEC conducts elections, both at the federal level and at the state level, the president or the, let's focus on the state in this matter, the state governor issues a proclamation proclaiming a date, time, and venue for the inauguration of members elect. Now, members are not just inaugurated. We run a representative democracy, and as such, it is expected that fair representation of every part of the state is achieved before you inaugurate the house. How do I mean? You may want to attain two-third majority of, or two-third of all the members that can be elected, or two-third of all the constituencies in the state to be represented, so that you are sure that every part of the state is represented before you issue a proclamation. Some people say one-third, but ideally, I think two-thirds, because the Constitution is not clear on how many people should be present. And that's one of the lacunas we have. Because if you are running a representative democracy, you want the aspirations of every part of that state or community to be brought to light. Yeah. And so when you attain that, you issue a proclamation. At that point in time, all members are equal, right? And so you elect your presiding officers. The speaker is elected independently. The deputy speaker is elected independently. And again, so it's not automatic that the deputy speaker becomes the speaker. There are instances where the deputy speaker is there, and then they pick up someone else to become the speaker, because they are not exclusive, right? So this means that when the lawmakers come together and say that they are removing a speaker, one, we know that even if the speaker and the deputy speaker are not present in the assembly, the House, provided they achieve one-third,
or the quorum according to that House.
Yes, yeah. According to that House. And in most cases, to remove a speaker, you need two-thirds, actually. That's the majority of the House, right? And in this case, they add that. So all they need, even if the speaker and deputy are not present, they can elect a pro tem speaker for that sitting. That's to tell you how rich democracy is, how important legislature is, to ensure that the legislature is not captured, is not in captivity. There's no issue of state capture. If the speaker is not present, if the deputy speaker is not present, you can have a pro tem speaker that will preside over that sitting. And they can take decision, because the most important thing in legislature is the majority, and that's why it's democracy. And that's why I started by saying that every part of the states has to be fairly represented before they can issue a proclamation to inaugurate the House. So they had all of these things. Most importantly, they had the deputy speaker of the House present. So you cannot tell us that if the speaker is not in the country, the legislature is on lockdown. That's not possible. Because it's not exclusive to the speaker. It's the people's house. And so it's for the people of Lagos State.
So I just wonder why, if it is a straightforward thing, it is looking like there's some quarters of the leadership who is jittery right now, and I don't understand. But youth parliament are like the football academy that you graduate into the main team. Now, how will this imbroglio, how will this problem that is facing the assembly now affect the youths that should transit into these positions of authority tomorrow?
Okay, so I assure you that when this issue happened, I represented at the national level, We also have the Lagos State Youth Parliament. When this issue happened, it sent some rancors to the state youth parliament. And they also wanted to take the same step. But I think a lot of leaders at that level were able to calm them to say, no. That tells you that everything that we do or the leaders do, the youths are watching. And so we are appealing to them to please be cautious of the precedents that is going to be set on this matter. Political balancing, capacity, development. We have to prioritize development. We have to prioritize stability, right? I give an instance. During the presidential election, people talked about Muslim tickets. If you ask the average Muslim in Nigeria today, I don't think there's been any exclusive benefit.
It was on the news 2 days ago that we have not seen any difference now that we have a Muslim ticket.
I won't say we've not seen any difference.
The difference to the Muslim community.
To the Muslim community.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Right? So, because it's not, there's nobody that is going to govern and say, oh, I'm only for these people. It's going to be very easy to flip off such person, right? So, provided what we are prioritizing is stability, is progress and development, we appeal to our leaders to be conscious of the decision they are taking. Because one, young people are observing, and we learn very quickly. And we would always justify, because it's precedence. And so we want them to be very conscious of it. The current speaker, the Speaker of the House of Assembly, Right Honorable Mojisola Meranda, we declared our support for her because of the antecedents that we know about her. And you can see our colleagues not only elected her, they passed a vote of confidence on her. And so we also want the leaders to look at the vote of confidence, the concerns of our colleagues. For them to have elected her, for them to have passed a vote of confidence on her, it speaks volume. And we don't want them to just brush that aside, amongst other things. Yes, political considerations have to come into place, political decisions have to come into play, but we need to be conscious of the fact that the world is watching us. We have made a lot of gains by having a first female speaker, and we don't want us to lose all of those things.
But as it stands now, the report is that about 7 people are standing by, which means these 7 people are among the 32 that gave us a vote of, passed a vote of confidence on Meranda. Does it mean it's a divided house, or is just a situation where they have to obey the higher authority, whether they like it or not?
I think all of these things are speculative. There's been no official communications from anywhere to say that there are 7 people shortlisted. Nobody shortlisted. The assembly does their own thing. If the assembly should come back today and say, oh, this is the decision we've taken, that's their decision. Nobody takes decisions for lawmakers in their chambers.
But they've already taken their decision, and this decision is not going down well with some people. Otherwise, they cannot take a decision as overwhelming as that and still find that we need the president to send ex-governors to come and mediate. So what will they be mediating? They should have just come to say, okay, we also support, and they're not saying that.
Okay, so from the last sitting that they had, where the members of the Lagos State House of Assembly passed a vote of confidence on the speaker, I think it was clear to everybody. Now, if the leaders have a concern and they are calling them, perhaps there's something the leaders are seeing that maybe the rest of us are not privy to, and they are here to speak on it. I wouldn't know that. But what we know is that as of the last sitting, we have a speaker, we have a deputy speaker, we have a fully constituted House of Assembly in Lagos State. And so the fellow members of the House passed a vote of confidence on the leadership. The sittings was adjourned Sindai, and we've not had anything of whether some people are stepping down officially. It's all going to be speculative until there's an official communication. Don't forget, the legislature is not something we just go back and forth on. You cannot pass the budget, appropriation act into law today, and then you come back tomorrow and say, oh, we made a mistake, we are coming to. You can only make amendments, right? And so we believe that the leaders, perhaps there's something they are seeing, and then they will have to speak to the assembly members. Ultimately, whether there's a form of mediation or not, the decision still lies with the members of the Lagos State House of Assembly.
Okay.
And I've not seen their body language change, for me.
Okay, so just speak to Lagosians, speak to the political class and whoever is concerned, because it will affect everybody, whether you're political
Definitely.
or not, it will affect everybody. So speak to Lagosians and especially your youths.
So for me, I want to appeal to everybody, the youth, the leaders. I remember during the general election, someone challenged me saying that the colonial masters built Lagos. And I simply said, yes, if you say colonial masters built Lagos, if it is easy to sustain the growth and development that Lagos has enjoyed from the time of His Excellency Governor Lateef Akande up to Governor Sanwo-Olu, then maybe they should test run it somewhere else. If some people build something, it takes another level of expertise, another level of capacity, another level of governance to sustain and even improve on that development. And so on the issue of the Lagos Assembly matter, because the legislature is very important, we do not want to lose the gains that we have made on electing Right Honorable Mojisola Meranda. And we want our leaders to kindly consider all of these things before taking any decision or before influencing any decision. Because ultimately, we are all together for the growth and development of Lagos and the people of Lagos.
Okay, that's a good way to end. Lagos should be paramount on our hearts. In our hearts, it shouldn't be something that, because of politics, we will lose the bigger picture that we have painted, which is a very, very beautiful one. We've been talking with Abdulmumin Edidi, former member, Nigerian Youth Parliament, youth leader, and a public affairs analyst on the show this morning. We'd like to say thank you so much for being a part of our program this morning.
I'm glad to be here today.
Okay.
And well done for you.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, that eventually wraps up our show this morning. We'd like to thank you for being there for us. We hope that you will reconnect with us for breakfast tomorrow. Until then, my name is Nyamgul Agaji. Bye for now.